Let's go.
Hey everyone. Now, some of you may know that I love Larry Graves Canadian Studmuffin channel, and the latest video that he's released at the time of recording this one was choosing 12 of my all-time favourite albums from an original list of 24 of his all-time faves that would be the only ones that he could listen to for the rest of his life. Now that's no easy task, and one he did well, with no tears this time. Now it set me thinking, and I decided to kind of hop on the bandwagon and do something similar, but of course with credit going to Larry for the initial idea. Thank you, my friend. It's a great suggestion. So here we go with my 12 as of the 29th of June. These are just my most loved albums in no particular order. There is just one rule to this, and that is that only one album per band. However, if you stick around to number 12, you'll find that this will be my most favourite. Now, one album that I can always listen to and enjoy no matter what is ELP's Trilogy. This was their best album for me, without question. I loved From the Beginning and The Endless Enigma, brilliant tracks. Second up, it's Foxtrot by Genesis, which for me has the best opening and closing tracks on any album I know. Watcher of the Skies has a presence and mood that's just unique, and Supper's Ready ranks in the top 3 prog rock songs of all time for me. My third selection is Manifesto by Roxy Music. Now, I love this band since back in the day with Virginia Plain, and this album was really their last before taking perhaps a more commercial route. There is some evidence on it. But again, there's a strong opening and closing tracks with the title track, and a really strong introduction to this album, and the closer, Spin Me Round, which was dreamy and quite a sinister ending to the track. My fourth is one of Larry's picks and is Relay of IS, just 3 tracks on this one, including the sidelong Gates of Delirium, and this is an album that I would quite happily listen to for the rest of my natural. The Colour of Spring by the wonderful Talk Talk is an album that's invented the idea of post-rock for me as a genre, was an album that brought them perhaps their most commercial success. Life's What You Make It and Living in Another World are just 2 of the outstanding songs from this album. The story of Mark Hollis is one of putting family before fame, and his death a few years ago was a sad loss to all. Growing up, I was always a massive David Bowie fan and literally adored all of his early albums in particular. It was a toss-up between Ziggy and Aladdin Sane for this list, but I went for the latter. It was probably a more progressive album, in my opinion. Watch That Man, Driving Saturday, Cracked Actor, 3 of the finest from this album, along with the haunting Lady Grinning Soul. More on that later. My 7th choice is a real one-off, in as much as it's the album Introspective by the Pet Shop Boys. Now, around this time, the duo had taken the basic electronic sound to quite a higher level and produced an album that was as good an electronic album as I've ever listened to. I was fortunate to see Queen twice in the late 70s, and it was an experience I'll never forget. Freddie was mercurial, excuse the pun, and weaved his magic on the crowd, and is something I will never ever forget. To choose an album is extremely difficult, but Sheer Heart Attack just shades it with the tracks Brighton Rock, Killer Queen, and Now I'm Here. My number 9 is Steve Hackett's second album, Please Don't Touch, which launched Steve's proper solo career, in my opinion, and demonstrated to so many exactly the talent he'd brought to Genesis in his time. Many brilliant tracks on this album, but the excellent Icarus Ascending, sung by the wonderful Richie Havens, jumps out for me. Now, of all the Beatles, the one I resonate most closely to is Paul McCartney, and it is to the album Band on a Run that makes my number 10 spot in my 12 most favourite albums. It's a really good all-round album, but the track 1985 really stands out for me. By number 11 most favourite album is Stormwatch by Jethro Tull. Now, no surprises, there's a Tull album in here, but this one is the one I really love to play, even though I must have played it absolutely loads of times. North Sea Oil, Orion, and Something's on the Change are 3 tracks I'd have in any playlist I created, and they're just super. Now, all of these previous albums are 11 of my 12 favourite albums, but if I had to pick just one to listen to for the rest of the all time, it would be, drumroll, well, it's an easy choice for me. It's Dark Side of the Moon, the album that I just simply love to play and one I just never get tired of. It's track after track of sheer brilliance, put together in a manner that just makes it want to be played, and for me is my most favourite album I would want to listen to for the rest of my life. Now, one of my most loved tracks I like to play as much as any, and one mentioned in this video, is on screen now, and I know you're going to love it too. Thanks to Larry once more for the suggestion for this video.